Shantang Street, located northeast of Suzhou City, it is the most ancient street in Suzhou, connecting Changmen Gate in the east and Tiger Hill in the west. Shantang Street stretches around 2 miles, hence its name Sevenly Shantang. The history of this riverside pedestrian street can be dated back to 1,000 years ago, but it was originally constructed as a road parallel with Shantang River, and is a part of the Shantang River Canal project for the purpose of irrigation, transportation, and waterway dredging. Shantang Street is a really unique street in Suzhou. Unlike the street in downtown, which are full of modern skyscrapers and malls, it catches our eyes with featured old houses, the typical of Wu's culture in ancient time. Shantang was first built back in the 825 AD. It served as a link between Tiger Hill and the city. There were temple fair and markets around Tiger Hill back in the 800s. During those times, people went to Tiger Hill to attend those fairs from the city. Since Shantang Street is a path to Tiger Hill, it's become bustling and flourishing. Another reason why Shantang became a street of prosperity is that the Shantang River in Shantang Street served as a waterway connecting the Grand Canal to Suzhou City. In the past, many businessmen from all over the country had their goods on their boat, shipping to Suzhou via this river. Suzhou is the city of rivers and bridges, and Shantang Street is the most typical of Suzhou streets. Unlike other historic streets in Suzhou, such as the Pinjiang Road, the Shantang River is right next to the houses instead of having a street between the houses and river. There are many shops and houses on Shantang Street. Houses on Shantang Street are quite unique. The houses here are mostly along the street with the front door and the back door facing the river. Shantang Street is also known as the Water Alley. Boats carrying jasmine flower, white orchid, and other goods ride on the river. The houses here have stone steps along the river, and people can wash their clothes or vegetables. At that time, some vendors were still paddling their boat to sell their goods on the river, such as the rice or firewood. More than that, there were also boats selling snacks, oil, salt, and sauce. Those who live upstairs don't have to go downstairs. They can just hunt down the basket with a rope to buy what you need. As the most ancient pedestrian street of Suzhou, the layout of the old Shantang remains mostly unchanged for nearly 1,000 years. Shantang Street is divided into 2 parts by the Bantown Street, also called the Caiyun Bridge. The east part starts from the Dushan Bridge in Changmen Gate, while the west part ends at the Tiger Hill. At present, there are nearly 200 shops in this commercial blocks, and most of them belong to 4 kinds of business: time-honored brand, traditional folk craft, master studio, and characteristic creative industrial. However, as the time passes by and the development of technology, automobiles have mostly replaced the boats in people's life. Boats are neither serve as a way of daily life or a way of cargo shipping transportation in Shantang. As the prosperity on the river disappears, the Shantang River now does not have the function of transportation or communication. Now, the Shantang River mainly serves as a site and only has small tourist cruise ships on it. Shantang Street and Pinjiang Road are 2 representative historic areas in Suzhou. Since they were built centuries ago, they both take part in the Suzhou City renewal in 1990s. During the renewal, Shantang and Pinjiang used different methods. For Shantang Street, the government bought all of the old houses and moved out all the original residents living on Shantang Street. And then the government invite business to go to the rebuilt Shantang Street to sell merchandise. The Shantang Street soon became a commercial street. Very different than Shantang Street, Pinjiang Road did just the opposite. All those original residents living there will not move out. They were able to return their routines and lifestyle. Furthermore, the government had cooperation with the Pinjiang Road residents to operate and merchandise together. Another difference between the renewal of Shantang and Pinjiang is the different method used in old building renewal. In Shantang Street, the old houses were torn down during the renewal and rebuilt on the original site without changing its appearance. while the renewal of Pinjiang Road followed a guideline which retains the original buildings instead of rebuilding it. In terms of the exterior renovation of Pinjiang Road and Shantang, it seems like the Shantang renewal did a better job. The new Shantang building looks really new and clean. The wall is freshly painted and really white. The tail looks straight and clean. Although they did a great job on the rebuilding of the traditional houses, the original houses that were built 1,000 years ago were gone. Despite the fact that the rebuilt one looked the same as the old one, they're just not the same. Because the construction workers and engineering who built the buildings are different. And the technology and the technique of building are different. For example, the original Shantang street houses were mainly wooden and used architectural techniques like the tenon. They are the representation of the wisdom of the Asian people. However, with the old original one teared down, they are all gone. I believe nowadays, tourists are more attracted by the authentic daily life of the city, instead of a place where it's run by an investment and built for merchandise. Moreover, a mere tourist attraction is more like a show on the theater stage, instead of a presentation of the history or the culture. What can really attract the tourist is the real lifestyle and the most original culture. The Asian city protection should not be something like tearing down and rebuilding. What need more for the Asian city is the proper protection and fine maintenance. Most importantly, it needs the continuity of the culture and life.